So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and go inside Microsoft to look at these elite teams who are literally paid to think like criminals and hack their own technology. We are talking about AI red teaming. It's the critical, often invisible work that makes the AI we use every day safer for all of us. So, how exactly do they do it? Let's dive in.
You know, it's really hard to argue with that, isn't it? The power of the AI we're seeing today, it honestly feels like magic. It's writing our code, it's creating incredible art, it's being baked into practically every app on our phones. I mean, it really feels like we're living in a sci-fi novel. But just like in any good story, with that kind of power comes some serious risk.
And this right here is the fundamental tension. The dream of AI is all about this limitless, almost magical potential. But the reality, especially for security folks, is that every new capability, every new connection, well, it creates a brand new attack surface. We're not just talking about old-school computer bugs here. This is a whole new world of potential weaknesses and even real societal harms.
Okay, so let's really break down what this new attack surface actually looks like, because it's not just one single problem. It's more like a whole landscape of different kinds of threats that demand a totally new way of thinking.
Generally, you can sort the AI threat landscape into three main buckets. First, you've got your classic application security stuff. You know, things like, can someone trick an AI system into leaking private data? Second, and this is the really new territory, are what are called AI usage harms. This is where you're testing for things like fairness, bias, and just general safety. And third, there's platform security, which is all about protecting the AI model itself from being stolen or messed with.
So to fight back across this incredibly complex landscape, you need a pretty specialized group of experts. And that's where this idea of hacking for good comes into play. The official name for it? AI red teaming.
At its core, an AI red team's job is to break things, but for a really good reason. They put themselves in the shoes of an adversary, using all the same clever tricks and tools a real-world hacker would. The whole point is to find the weaknesses first so that the company can build stronger, safer, and way more resilient AI systems before they ever make it out into the world.
Now, this idea isn't brand new or anything. It's really an evolution. Microsoft has had traditional security red teams since way back in the early 2010s. But around 2018, they realized AI was a whole different beast with its own unique challenges. So they formed a dedicated AI red team. And today, that team's mission has gotten even bigger, expanding way beyond just security to tackle all those complex responsible AI harms we were just talking about.
And this evolution has changed how they work, too. Traditional red teaming was often double-blind, super secretive, where neither the hackers nor the defenders even knew a test was happening. But AI red teaming is often single-blind, meaning the red team knows the tech inside and out. Their mission is way broader now, covering both security and safety, and they even test totally harmless scenarios just to see how the AI behaves.
So what does this hacking actually look like in practice? Let's open up the hacker's playbook and take a look at the actual techniques they're using to poke and prod these incredibly complex AI systems.
Okay, the number one most fundamental technique in the world of large language models is something called prompt injection. Put simply, it's all about tricking the AI by crafting a special input, a prompt, that makes it completely ignore its safety rules and do something it's really not supposed to. It's kind of like social engineering for a robot.
Let's see it in action. Here's a super direct, straightforward attempt. A user asks a very clearly harmful question, and the AI, with all its safety features working perfectly, correctly says, "Nope, can't do that." This is exactly what you want to see. The system is working as designed.
But watch what happens now. The red teamer doesn't change their ultimate goal, they just change the context. By pretending to be a novelist doing research for a book, they use a bit of social engineering to fool the AI into giving up the exact same information it just refused to share. This is a classic jailbreak.
An impersonation is just the tip of the iceberg. Red teams have this whole bag of creative tricks, from trying to guilt the AI, which is often designed to be helpful, to manipulating the input itself by encoding it in weird ways, or even hiding instructions in invisible computer code that only the machine can see. It's this constant, high-stakes game of cat and mouse.
Okay, so that's the basics. Now let's level up to something way more sophisticated. A huge concern for businesses is an attack called cross-domain prompt injection, or XPIA for short. At its heart, this attack takes advantage of a really fundamental problem. A lot of these big AI models are kind of bad at telling the difference between their instructions and the data they're supposed to be working on.
Here's how a real-world attack could go down. So picture this. An attacker sends an email to a CEO, but it has a secret instruction hidden inside it. Later, the CEO asks their AI assistant to just, summarize their inbox. The AI reads that malicious email, sees the hidden command, and starts executing it, searching through private files for details about a merger. Then it drafts a reply back to the attacker with a tiny coded signal, like a single misspelled word, that confirms the merger is happening. The executive had sent, completely clueless, and boom, the insider trading scheme just worked.
Now, as you can probably imagine, running these incredibly complex attacks manually, one by one, would take forever. To do this at the scale of a company like Microsoft, you absolutely have to automate the whole process.
So to solve this, Microsoft developed a tool called Pirate, which stands for Python Risk Identification Tool. This is the actual software Microsoft's own team uses every single day. And get this, they've made it open source for anyone out there to use.
And Pirate is a total game changer for a few key reasons. First, it provides scale, letting a small team run literally thousands of attacks automatically. It also ensures reliability by running the tests the exact same way every single time. It's super flexible. It can test anything from a full app to a single AI model. And maybe the coolest part is that it has automated scoring that can look at the AI's response and tell you if your attack actually worked.
Okay, so finding these vulnerabilities is one thing, but that's only half the battle, right? The other half, and you could argue it's the most important part, is making sure that what you find is used to improve the technology for everyone.
And these folks are not messing around. The pace is just relentless. Microsoft's AI Red Team has run over 60 of these intensive testing sprints in just the last year. In each one, they're like a smoke detector, finding new trends and attack methods and feeding that information straight back to the product teams so they can fix things. And the impact of all this hard work is like a ripple effect. It starts by fixing flaws in specific products you and I use, but then those insights help improve the underlying platforms and models that power tons of different products. And finally, by sharing what they learn, they help raise the security and safety bar for the entire tech industry.
This commitment to transparency is so key. They aren't just finding problems and keeping them secret, they're collaborating with partners like MITRE on industry-wide standards, they're publishing their results in technical reports, they're releasing their tools to the public, and they're even going to security conferences to train the next generation of ethical hackers. It's all part of this bigger mission to build a safer AI world for all of us.
Which really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? This work, AI red teaming, it's a continuous race. As the AI models get more and more powerful and woven deeper into the fabric of our society, the attack surface is only going to get bigger and more complex. The question isn't whether we can make AI perfectly safe, but whether the good hackers can evolve just as fast as the technology they're trying to protect.